It is worth being aware that from the perspective of Russian interests, stirring radically anti-Ukrainian emotions, disinformation such as that Ukrainian drones are attacking Poland now, that Ukrainians are blowing up trains, has as if a double value from the perspective of Russian services. Through the Attorney General, in agreement with the special services and the police leadership, the point is to, for reasons that I hope are understandable to all of you,
reasons to provide information as accurately as possible.
Everyone, and today in Poland, everyone is interested in this matter, while at the same time not to hinder in any way any operation of further proceedings by the prosecutor's office and services. Therefore, allow me to say exactly what, after the findings of the prosecutor's office and special services, I can say. Today, firstly, perhaps the most important information, intensive work of the services, police and prosecution, allowed to identify the individuals responsible for act of sabotage. We are talking about 2 confirmed acts of sabotage in the town of Mika and in the vicinity of Puławy. As for in both cases, we are certain, not assuming, that the attempt blowing up the tracks and damage to railway infrastructure near Puławy, both of these, the events were intentional, had their perpetrators, and their aim was to cause a railway disaster. I will speak for a moment, please. For some of you, this might be something special, but I want to talk about serious matters that interest. If not you, then certainly Poles. Bear with me for 5 minutes. Five minutes. It has been a little more than 70 hours. The identified individuals, two citizens of Ukraine, acting and cooperating for a long time with Russian services. This is a finding of our services and the prosecutor's office, and it also results from cooperation with our allied services.
One, as for Kine, so their identities are established. At the explicit request of the prosecutor's office, I will not provide you with the names of these two citizens at this moment because right now, as I speak to you, further operations are being conducted. These individuals we suspect, one of them is someone convicted by a court in Lviv. In May of this year, a citizen of Ukraine was convicted for acts of sabotage in the territory.
Ukraine staying in Belarus.
The second one is
A resident of Donbass also crossed from Belarus to
Polish together with the first suspect.
in the fall of this year.
Just before the attacks.
These individuals, after committing acts of sabotage in the town of Mika, they left Polish territory through the border crossing in Terespol. It was right after carrying out this attack, so they had not yet been identified by the services. Unfortunately, this attempt turned out to be completely ineffective. The second event, which was so loud in the literal sense, took place on the 15th of November.
At 8:58 p.m.
This was shown by the registration on the surveillance camera. A military-type explosive device. C4 was detonated with the help of an initiating device through an electric cable 300 meters long. At the scene of a certain amount of explosive material that did not detonate was also secured. The charge exploded during the passage of a freight train on the Warsaw to Puławy route, not causing a derailment, only minor damage to the floor of the wagon. The engineer did not even notice the incident while passing through that location. Poland is in constant contact with the special services of allied countries, and we will do everything to pursue the perpetrators of these events.
Actions are ongoing to identify all those responsible for these events and their collaborators. A certain line has been crossed, and the matter is really very, very serious. I want to
Emphasize that
what matters to the Russian authorities. It is not only about the direct effect of this type of action, but also about the social and political consequences. The fact that this action is taking place. This is, of course, disorganization, chaos, panic, speculation, uncertainty. That is one effect. And the second is, of course, arousing possibly radically anti-Ukrainian sentiments. This is particularly dangerous in countries like Poland, where we already bear enough burdens due to over 1 million Ukrainian refugees in Poland, and it is known that for understandable reasons, it is increasingly easy to stir up anti-Ukrainian sentiments because Polish citizens are more and more often bearing the burdens resulting from the fact that we are hosting such a large number of refugees and immigrants. And it is worth being aware that from the perspective of Russian interests stirring radically anti-Ukrainian emotions, disinformation such as that Ukrainian drones are attacking Poland now, that Ukrainians are blowing up trains, has as if a double value from the perspective of Russian services.